Is this who I want to be? Is this who I'm committing? See, we're always in the process of becoming who we want to be. We're constantly evolving. I recently heard that there's individuals that we can prove now with science, individuals who are transforming and who are creating new neural pathways at the age of 93. I have mentors and people that I learn from, and I'm completely inspired. They're in their late 80s. That's amazing. I want to become who they are. I want to be that best version of myself, to connect, to inspire, to really continue to move forward in a very, very powerful way. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the MindShift Show. And today we're talking about the saboteurs, and we all have a saboteur. You may be asking yourself, what is a saboteur? And how does it impact me? Well, a saboteur is a way of seeing the world that we learned at a very young age that can impact the way that we view the world, the way that we interact with people. It may be that we feel like we're justified in doing what we do. It could be something as simple as we want to people please, or we want to keep everything the status quo, or we want to be friendly with everyone. Well, we're going to be talking about each of those saboteurs and how they could potentially be impacting all of us. And when we discover them, how we can transcend it. And with all of this, it is a practice. A lot of people ask me, how long is it going to take to transcend each of these things? Well, it depends. It depends. It's different for all of us. Just be patient, do your daily practice, and you'll discover that there's a lot more for you to see. Number one, we look at the avoider. What does the avoider do? The avoider can avoid conversations. They can say, hey, I don't want conflict. Maybe they should be having conversations and they're avoiding those conversations, or even making phone calls. We talk about procrastination. Well, there's something inside of us that makes us procrastinate. And when we can transcend that, we can make different decisions. And they can be intentional decisions. We can catch ourselves in the midst of saying, hey, I don't want to make that phone call. Or am I procrastinating again? What am I feeling? What do I need to move forward? How do I get myself into a peak state of mind that I can make those choices? I can take those decisions. I can take that action that's necessary to get through and complete whatever it is that I'm looking to complete. The other one's the controller. We want everything to be perfect. For me, I feel like I had that. I had the showroom that it had to be perfect. I remember my son one day told me, he goes, Mom, we don't live in a showroom. And I'm like, I like my showroom. Well, guess what? That is attempting to control an environment. And whether we know why we're trying to control it or not is irrelevant. The most important thing is, how do we get out of that? How do we become even more aware that we're attempting to control a situation where we're not getting our way? It may show up like that, that we're not getting our way. Like, how dare this person tell me what to do? It doesn't feel right to me. So really think about that. It could even be making sure that we're that perfectionist. It's like, wow, like I want everything, every detail, every dot, every T, everything to be perfect. I remember I was watching a movie recently about this engagement, and the the groom wanted his bride to wear her hair in a specific style, that it had to be absolutely perfect. That's not what she wanted, right? How does that make somebody feel when we're looking at them and really getting into their shoes? What would it feel like if somebody kept going around us and saying, hey, you need to be perfect, or you need to be this way, you need to do this in this particular way? That's something that's really impacting people. The other thing is, like, we may be hyper vigilant. We may be like, oh, like, I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. How is that going to impact you, right? When we're supposed to be having connection, conversation, be with that person at all times and be present with them. And if we're being hyper vigilant, we cannot be present. Sometimes we're scoping them out and seeing, what's going on with you? I see something, it may be fishy. So instead of being present, we're looking for something, maybe even a flaw. Are we looking for flaws? Are we looking for ways to defend ourselves? Are we looking for reasons why not to do something based on a gesture? And we've talked about gestures here in the past. Somebody has a particular gesture and we're automatically triggered into a different state of being. What would it look like if we're absolutely present and we're connected and we get to do what we get to do? We get to be with that person. See, we miss so much. I was sitting on the patio yesterday looking at the details, every details, the textures of the patio. And I'm like, wow, to me, it always looked like this showroom patio. And yesterday I saw it for the very first time in a very different light. I'm like, wow, it's got some water spots. Some areas of the patio look weathered now. I had never seen those areas. What would it look like if we start to see the things that we hadn't seen because we're no longer being hyper vigilant? We're no longer attempting to figure out, I'm like, why? What's here? What's there? It would be very different. And imagine the same thing happens with people, that when we stop being hyper vigilant, we start to see things that we had never seen. Remember, I was talking with a friend a couple of weeks ago and saying, wow, I'm taking this course and I'm realizing there's a lot of things that I hadn't paid attention to. I'm hearing sounds that I had never heard. Why? Because I was always on a rush, on a go. It's like, go, 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 get the next thing done. Or what else is there for me to do? Some of us may be there, and you know exactly how it is that it shows up for you because we all have a different way. See, there's no one way. I think we keep on hearing people saying, well, if you do this, this is what it means. If you do that, this is what it means. I'm here to say that we're so unique. Each and every one of us is so unique. What shaped you didn't shape me. What impacted you didn't impact me. What impacted me didn't impact you. So it is about being in a process of discovery. We're so unique. It's this combination. It's like the holy grail of our own existence and our own way of being. And do we get to, once we decipher through it and figure out what built me, or who do I want to be? Is this who I want to be? Do I want to be that person that everything is perfect, that nobody can ever make a mistake? I remember about a decade ago, I was at a retreat. I was so excited to be at the retreat. I'm like, yes, I'm excited. And we got around in a circle. And my friends, and there was people that I had never met, yet they knew who I was. And we're going around choosing a leader. And they came around to me and they're like, Rocío, I don't want you to lead because you're unapproachable. And I'm like, I'm unapproachable? Like, that's the first time I ever heard that. I'd never heard that. And everybody got their turn to say, like, hey, I'm afraid of making a mistake around you because you're so perfect. Or even years later, fast forward, I had a friend who tells me, hey, Rocio, you're so inauthentic. Like, your life is so perfect. And they were right. I was being inauthentic. I just didn't know it. They didn't know exactly what it was. They couldn't pinpoint it. And it took me a while to discover, yes, I was showing like this best version of myself. Well, the reality is like, I was running around with my hair on fire. I was exhausted from all the work that I had to do. I was still going through my own healing process. There was so much going on in my life that I hadn't even recognized. And that's what being present gives us, is that opportunity to connect at a different level, to be more authentic. Maybe we're running around restless, that we have to go from one project to another project. What does that look like? And it has an impact, right? So the key is to understand, where am I self-sabotaging? What does that look like? And I always like to talk about how the imposter syndrome meets the saboteurs and the way that we're sabotaging ourselves. Let's assume that we have somebody who is a perfectionist here as an imposter, like they want everything to be perfect, and then they're sabotaging through their perfection. It is about us realizing what it is. How is that impacting myself? How am I impacting my team in the way that I'm showing up? A lot of the times we're not even aware of how we're showing up or how we come across to others because sometimes people are afraid to give us feedback. Just like that group, it wasn't until then I'm like, oh, like I've got some stuff to look at. And so I wanted to make sure that, hey, I want to be the best version of myself. I want to be that happy version. I want to be that person that people can come to, not just because they want to come to, like they feel like, hey, I could trust her. I could have these conversations. She really gets me. See, there's nothing happy about somebody not getting us. And I was recently in a conversation with a coach, and the coach is giving me all these ideas of what they think I am. And it's like, wow, no, you didn't get me. You didn't get me last week. You didn't get me this week. So we start to lose rapport in time with individuals that are not getting us. Why? Because they may have their saboteurs up. They may have their imposter syndrome going on. We may have our imposter syndrome. And then guess what? They're both interacting with each other in a way that are unproductive. And it's not really our truest expression of ourselves. The key in life is to get to know ourselves. What am I doing? Why am I doing what I'm doing? Is this who I want to be? And if it's not, how do I transform myself into that best version of myself? Those are the questions that I would be asking myself over and over again. Is this who I want to be? Is this who I'm committing? See, we're always in the process of becoming who we want to be. We're constantly evolving. I recently heard that there's individuals that we can prove now with science, individuals who are transforming and who are creating new neural pathways at the age of 93. How amazing is that? I have mentors and people that I learn from, and I'm completely inspired. They're in their late 80s, and I get to hear, I'm like, wow, that's amazing. I want to become who they are. I want to be that best version of myself, to connect, to inspire, to really continue to move forward in a very, very powerful way. So who do you want to be? And what work are you willing to put into it, right? Because it is a daily practice and everything is possible and probable. It is about our intention. It is about our commitment. And we've talked about commitment here before. Commitment is I'm doing it, whether it's raining or snowing or whether life is going on, whatever's happening, I'm committed to my practice. I'm committed to being that best version of myself for myself, so that I can live the best life for me. Thank you for watching this show today. I invite you to watch these shows over and over again. Take 5 minutes, do three things that are going to move you forward. Is it asking yourself the questions here that I posed today? You know, what is it that I'm doing that if I was to stop doing would change the course of my life? How am I showing up? Do I want to show up in this way? Whatever that may be, maybe I make a commitment right here. You know what? From now on, I'm going to accept people for who they are and who they want to be and where they're at. You know exactly what it is for you in this moment. Go be amazing. Take action over and over again. Invite friends to come and look. Check us out, themindshiftgame.com. And we're here to serve you. We have an amazing Mindshift Guild on our website where you can learn about different courses, and we'll be talking about those in future episodes.